Okay, comparing fractions. To compare fractions, I need to make them equivalent because I need to compare them with the bottom denominators the same. 1/3 and 2/3, obviously 2/3 is bigger. When the bottom numbers are the same, it's easy to tell. If I have 3/8 or 5/8, obviously 5/8 is bigger. But when I don't have the same number on the bottom, okay, so also I tell them to imagine this is an alligator, and the alligator chompy, the bigger one. So whenever I have two numbers on the bottom that are different, I'm going to look at the smaller one and see if I can make it bigger. If I can make it bigger, if I can multiply it by something to make it an 8, then I'm going to do that. This one can stay by the same. So 4 times 2 is 8. So my new fraction is going to be an 1/8. And whatever I do to the bottom, I'll do to the top. And 2 times 2 is 4. So I'll be comparing these two fractions. 4/8 is bigger than 2/8. On this one, I can't do anything to an 1/8 to make it into a 9th. Okay, I can't multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. That's too big. I can't divide 9 by anything to make it smaller to make it an 1/8. So I'm going to multiply them by each other. And if I multiply them by each other, then I'll get 72 as my new denominator. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And you'll notice that that's different on each fraction. So for this fraction, I multiplied by 9. And this one I multiplied by 8. And 7 times 9 is 63. And 7 times 8 is 56. And I'll be comparing these two fractions. 63 70-seconds is bigger than 56 70-seconds. On this one, I can't multiply 3 by anything to make it into a 5. And I can't multiply 5 by anything to make it into a 3, so I'll multiply them by each other. And whatever I do to the bottom of each one, I'll do on the top. This is probably the most confusing step. And I'm going to come up with two new fractions, and both of their denominators will be 15, because on this one I have 3 times 5 is 15, and 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 3 is 6, and I'll be comparing these two fractions. 10/15 is bigger than 6/15. This one is another one. First of all, 3 halves. I can only have 2 halves. So obviously I can tell already that this one is bigger. Because if I have 8/8, that would be 1 whole. And 2 halves would be 1 whole on this side. So I don't have to do anything mathematically to see that this one is already bigger than 1 and this one is less than 1. But I'll still show it to you. I can change 2 into 8ths by multiplying by 4. And I'll do the same thing on the top. And my new fraction, this one gets to stay by itself, stay the same, because this one I'm going to change them into 8ths. 3 times 4 is 12, and 12/8 is bigger than 3/8.